Hi guys, I'm Steex, audio video production. Today I'm gonna show you the new Hammertone series pedals by Fender. So this video, as you can imagine, will be very long because I have to introduce you each pedal. So there are 9 pedals from Hammertone series, so I have to introduce all the characteristics per each pedal. So you have the timestamps of YouTube, you can scroll from all the argument, all the topics, but of course I suggest you to see the whole video because it will be pretty logical and chronological on the timeline. So let's talk about the first feature, and for me is the most important feature of the Hammertone series. Almost all the Hammertone pedals have on the back a screw that you can open, and you can see inside there are 2 pots, 2 trim pots. And you can manage these pots depending on the kind of pedal you have purchased, and depending on the amplifier also that you are using. For example, the dynamic pedal, so the overdrive, fuzz, distortion and metal, have pots that are relative to the sound, so relative to the frequency. So for example, can have a filter of the high frequencies or the bass frequencies, a tone range that will change the tone of each pedal. So this is very important depending on your amplifier. Trust me, I've tried out all these pedals in every kind of amplifier I have. I found that on the Supro they sound pretty dark, so you have to manage these pots for sure to make it sound really great. And I found that with my Marshall amplifier that I'm using right now, they sound pretty good stockly, so without changing the trim pots. Then of course the other kind of pedals, so the modulation pedal, for example the delay and space delay, can have different trim pots. For example, can change the time, so can change the range of the time that you can use with this pedal. I think and I remember that the chorus and the reverb do not have any trim pot, so keep in mind this. Let's start listening something about these pedals, and let's start talking about the routing and the gear that I'm using. Gibson Les Paul standard with pickup Alnico 5 going directly to the pedalboard, but the pedalboard has been connected with basically the 4 cable method. I'm going directly to the first of my dynamic pedals, so my dynamic pedals are the overdrive, fuzz, distortion and metal. So this is the input of my guitar, and then the output is the metal, so the output goes directly to my Marshall JVM 410H amplifier, while the other pedals, so the modulation pedals, all the chorus, flanger, delay, space delay and reverb has been connected in the FX loop of the Marshall. So the send is this one from the chorus, and then the return is from the reverb. Then of course I'm not using any cabinet, even if you see a cabinet here is only to raise my Marshall. I'm using the Torpedo Capture X with my custom impulse responsive that you can download for free with the link in the description if you are a member of Buy Me a Coffee page. And then I'm going directly to my Presonus Studio 192 and recording with Studio 1.5. So let's start listening something. Let's start with my bass sound, so without the pedalboard. Let's listen the sound of only my guitar and the Marshall amplifier. Okay, it's a really clean sound. Let's start with the overdrive. As you can see, you have 4 different knobs. You have the tone, the gain and level, which is the very base for an overdrive, and you have also the pre-mid boost. This pre-mid boost is really important when you want to make some solos, because you are pushing the mids before they will be saturated. So you will saturate more the mid tones. Is not an equalization after the saturation, is before the saturation. This is really important. Let's listen with the gain to 0 and the tone in the middle, no pre-mids. So bypassed. Let's increase the volume. I like this sound. It's really, let me say, organic. Really like. Let's increase more the gain. More. The maximum. Let's listen with open tone. The premix to the maximum. As you can listen, it will increase the gain, the overall gain, because you are pushing more the mids. And of course, you are also increasing just a bit the mids, because it's not an EQ post saturation, it's before. So you are pushing more the saturation on the mids. So you can get more sustain for a solo. Bypassed. I really like this overdrive. Let's switch now to the fuzz. You have three controls, always level, tone, and the overall gain, which is the fuzz. And of course, you have this which is called octave. With this octave, you will basically add upper octave. So it's like a shift, and basically will increase the messy sound. Okay, so let's start listening normal. So with the gain to 0. Okay, on 0 you have 0 sound. So let's increase a bit. It's really aggressive. It seems like there is some sort of gate. Let's switch the octave. Okay, it's really aggressive. Let's switch now to the distortion. You have the level, gain, treble and bass. It's really great to have the bass on distortion pedal because when you use a lot of saturation, basically you will lose some of the bass responses. So it's really great to have a bass knob here. Let's engage it. This is with the gain to 0. You have something. Wow, lots of bass, even if it is at the middle position. Increasing the bass. Oh my god, too much. To the maximum. It's too much. Okay, let's now switch to the metal pedal. You have basically the same knob but with a different name. So you have high and low instead of treble and bass. Let's engage with gain to 0. It feels like there is much more dynamic compared to the distortion. It feels like there is more dynamic here on the metal compared to the distortion. Let's increase the gain. You can listen to the noise of the bass at the maximum. It's almost clipping. It's too much, this bass. Okay, so let's compare now the metal and distortion. Let's do that at maybe the maximum gain. Less. I can feel that the distortion is just a bit more aggressive, also in the picking, while the metal is just a bit more dynamic. But you can also tweak, keep in mind that you can tweak the trim pots behind the pedal, so you can manage the frequencies in this dynamic pedal. So let's now switch to the modulation pedals. So the first one is the chorus, and you have three main knobs. You have the level, the depth and rate, normal, but you have more these two tiny switches. The tone basically will be darker or brighter, and you have the type. The type has three positions, up, middle and down, and this will change the voice of the chorus. On the upper position you will have basically a standard chorus, while on the middle position you have two voices chorus, and on the down position you have the four voices. So let's listen firstly with the up position, so very standard chorus. The tone. I feel that in the upper position it's much more rich, the sound. You can have the bass, while the tone on the down position is like a filter, it's like an high pass filter. Let's change the rate. It's not too fast. Maybe it's better a very slow rate. You can also mix the chorus, because I placed the chorus on the FX loop, so you can use the level like a mix. Okay, so the type on the middle position, it's much more emphasized. On the down position, you have four voices. You can also use with the overdrive, for example. Okay, now let's switch to the flanger. You have the resonance and the type switches. Of course, always the rate, manual and depth knob. With the resonance, basically you will increase the so-called feedback. So you can have a more emphasized flanger tone. With the type, basically you will engage a polarity changing. So you can change the polarity to negative or positive. Let me show you. Let's engage. This is the negative polarity. So basically you will increase much more the resonance, but you will lose also some bass response. With the type all the way up, you have the positive polarity. resonance all the way down. It's much more gentle. On the middle, maximum. You can also use the depth like a mix. With the negative polarity, you will emphasize the flanger, as you can listen with the positive, negative, Okay, now let's switch to the delay. This delay is really interesting because, of course, you have the time, feedback and level, but the type you can change from digital delay, from analog delay 1 and analog delay 2. Basically, you have two different kinds of analog delay. And then you have also the modulation that will increase just a bit, a sort of chorus, okay? All the way up is a digital delay. Let's listen. The repetitions are the same because of digital. While the middle position is analog number 1, it's just a bit warmer. On the third position, in this position also we'll change the equalization going far with the repetition. With the mod, it's like a delay and a chorus together. Analog. Let me suggest you a trick that you can use live. So basically you can use an overdrive or a distortion. Use a time of delay really fast as possible, and the feedback to the maximum. Pay attention that the volume will increase a lot because you will engage basically a loop, a feedback which is infinite. So pay attention to the volume. Okay, so time to really fast. You can listen to this reflection and increase now the feedback. Now when you get this sort of noise, you have to go down with the time and listen going up and down with the time, that you will create really amazing things. But you can also engage a delay after this delay with this sort of noise to create more interesting sound. Let's listen. Okay, this was the trick. Oh, it's blinking. Why it is blinking? Oh, it's due to the feedback. Okay, so let's now jump to the space delay. This space delay is basically a pattern delay because it emulates the heads of a tape machine. Okay, so let's engage it, and you have 3 positions of the pattern. The upper position is basically 1/4 of the repetition. You can also engage a modulation. It's like a drag man. Okay, with the second pattern, so in the middle position, you have this pattern. Ta ta ta. Okay? While on the third position, ta ta ta. So, second position, ta ta ta. Third position, ta ta ta. So basically in a tape delay you can use different heads to create this sort of pattern. And this is basically the same. So let's play something. Okay, it's very, very funny. Now, let's switch to the reverb. Again, 3 types of reverb. You have the hall reverb all the way up, the room reverb in the middle, and a plate reverb all the way down. You have, of course, also the tone switch here and the dampness. The damp basically is how much fast the volume will go down on the high frequencies. So let me show you. Let's engage with hall. So the time is very long. Damp to 0. Basically you have infinite delay. So basically you can get infinite high frequencies. Okay, while on the opposite to 10, because the high frequencies goes down very, very fast way. Okay. Okay, so let's play something. Tone really dark, up, it's brighter. So this is the hole. I can also make very, very short hole. So let's jump now to the room. It's even shorter. Can increase it. And then to the plate. much longer. Stai calmo, eh? Alright guys, these are the Hammertone series from Fender. I really like the concept of this pedal. I like that the pedals have on the back the screw to manage the pot. I really liked the Reverb Pedal and also the Overdrive. These two are my favorites. And I also like the chorus. It's really organic, the sound. Guys, you have the link in the description if you like to purchase or only try out. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!